Well, the end of the year is nearly upon us. And in this video, I'm going to take some time to recap 2023 and give you my thoughts on some of the many guitars and gear I reviewed this year. I began my channel in February of 2022, and it continues to grow, albeit slower than I'd like, but it has more than tripled from what it was at the end of last year. Now, I want to take a moment to express my heartfelt thanks to all of you who've watched the channel, and especially those who've subscribed and follow me regularly. Your support is huge, and I can't thank you enough. I began the year with the first of several Epiphones, the ES335 Traditional Pro. And I have to say, I think Epiphone is going the right direction with their Inspired by Gibson line. Now, the only actual Gibson I looked at this year was the Les Paul Special. I owned a 90s version over 20 years ago, but I liked the new one a lot more. I really appreciated the return to the more or less original 50s spec with its simple wrap-tailed bridge and, for my taste, a much nicer neck profile. The Yamaha Revstar RSE20 was pretty impressive, given it's the least expensive Revstar in the line. In addition to the Epiphone 335, I reviewed several full-size semi-hollows this year, all built around the familiar ES335 platform. Maple laminate bodies, solid full-length center blocks, and roughly 15 inches wide. Now, these included the Sire H7V, the Hagstrom Viking, the Ibanez AS113, the Epiphone Riviera Frequencator, and the Eastman T486. Now, these were all well-made, nice playing guitars, ranging in price from about $700 for the Epiphone and Sire to $1,000 or more for the rest, topping off with the Eastman at just under $1,500. The Eastman was my favorite overall, and while its somewhat higher price seems justified by the use of top-quality hardware and Seymour Duncan pickups, it really just came down to personal preference. Now, I enjoyed the neck carve and the wider nut width of the Eastman, and I also felt the Eastman was more on par with much higher-priced instruments. I reviewed a couple of the most talked-about Epiphone solid bodies this year, the 1959 Les Paul and the Epiphone Firebird. Now, these were both good examples of how much Epiphone has been upping their game lately. I managed to feature quite a few Fenders this year, hitting models from the US, Mexico, Japan, and one Squire from Indonesia as well. Well, it was another big year for Paul Reed Smith SE models. And along with those that have been around a while, well, I had to check out the highly anticipated SE DGT and SE McCarty 594. To keep things in perspective, I also took a look at the S2 McCarty 594. I also tested a couple of PRS products other than guitars. The Merry Cries compressor, followed by the HDRX20 amp head. Now, I don't usually get on with guitar compressors, and found the Merry Cries to be one of the more enjoyable compressors I've tried. And the HDRX20 is a very straightforward, relatively inexpensive but good-sounding amp with an old-school Marshall vibe. So far, I still own it, though I have yet to use it live. I'll have to do that next year and report back. Well, my most watched video of the year was actually a follow-up video on my Fender Tone Master Deluxe Reverb, detailing my experience after 2 years of ownership. Now, despite the 90% positive comments I received, I fully recognize these amps remain controversial for some. But for me, it does the job very nicely, and it's been an absolute godsend for the back issues that forced me to stop touring, enabling me to continue to at least do a number of local live shows each year. Well, this video would be way too long if I covered everything from the entire year, but these have been some of the highlights. There are quite a few standouts. Among USA-made guitars, I found both the Gibson Les Paul Special and the American Performer Tele to be solid, high-quality, very enjoyable instruments that were ready for the stage. But the real standout for me was the USA G&L Legacy, which could easily be my main instrument. And among the many Asian-made imports, well, it says something about the current state of import guitars that I found all of them had something to offer. But among the import solid bodies I tried, the PRS SE guitars seem a touch nicer overall, requiring little to no work to get them ready for prime time. But I have to say the real standouts among all the imports were the Eastmans. Yes, they cost more, but not drastically so. And they were the ones I felt I could take onto any stage and be happy. And that, my friends, is the most important criteria in my world. And with that, I'll say goodbye for this week. I'll be back next time with a new review I've been very much looking forward to. I hope you're all enjoying the holiday season, and I will see you again very soon.